win away. A late-night rally brings the Sox on the brink of another world championship.
First on 7, fire breaks out at an apartment near Northeastern's campus. 9 people are hurt, and now firefighters want to know how it started.
Developing this morning, a man is facing murder charges after a deadly mass shooting at a synagogue in Pittsburgh.
And a nor'easter brought wind and rain to start the weekend. Taking a live look outside, the weather's improving and temperatures are going to start to rise in the coming days.
This is 7 News Today in New England.
Center should end it. The Red Sox are up 3-1.
What a comeback in those last few innings, down 4-0 in Game 4. The Sox offense comes alive, dominating the Dodgers relief pitchers. Now the Sox are 1 win away from a 4th title since 2004. Good morning and thanks for joining us. I'm Matt Rascone.
And I'm Nicole Oliverio. So it could be a big night in Southern California as Sox fans hope the celebration is in the immediate forecast. But we'll find that out later tonight. We do have another forecast for you. Meteorologist Jackie Layer is joining us now with what you can expect outside today. Much different than yesterday, Jackie.
Oh, yes, and we're seeing calmer winds compared to what we were dealing with yesterday around this time. We did see a wind gust in excess of at least 60 miles per hour for some locations. That did include Wellfleet. But let's talk about current conditions. We're seeing those into the upper 30s now for Jaffrey and Worcester in terms of temperatures, and we're into the mid-40s now in Boston. 50s, though, already down towards the southern coastline and the Cape and the islands. So that is where the warmer, or at least milder air is confined to at this point in time. We did see some areas of fog and mist. That's reduced visibility out towards Bedford to a mile. Less than a mile for Worcester, around 5 miles for Boston. So we're now finally starting to notice at least some improvement in terms of that visibility over the last hour or so. Currently also tracking at least mostly cloudy skies for most of our area. Notice the snow well out towards upstate New York. That is associated with the remnants of our nor'easter that continues to move its way northward. So we're just on the backside of that system for the day today. So drizzle early in the morning and some fog. Then eventually that lifts its way out. We'll see some peaks of sunshine, but mainly confined to the southern coastline, the Cape and the islands. That's where temperatures will continue to warm back up, upper 50s. Otherwise, most locations today will be right around 50 degrees by the afternoon hours. Looking ahead towards the next couple of days, though, today, mid-upper 50s, low 50s Monday, upper 40s Tuesday. Then we see that warm up as we get towards Wednesday for Halloween. Temperatures right around 60 degrees. Does that stick around? All of those answers coming up in just a couple minutes.
The Red Sox have a chance to wrap up the World Series tonight.
Fly ball to right. Back at the wall. It is gone. Tine runs.
Boston trailed the Dodgers 4-0 late last night before rallying. Mitch Moreland's pinch hit 3-run homer proved to be a turning point, cutting LA's lead to 1, and it gave the Sox plenty of momentum.
Now, Rafael Devers coming up with a clutch performance as well. The 22-year-old gave the Sox their first lead of the night, singling in the top of the ninth to silence fans at Dodger Stadium. He became the youngest player to get a go-ahead hit that late in a World Series game in more than 20 years.
And Steve Pearce proved to be the star of the night in Game 4. His 8th inning homer tied it up, and his bases-clearing double in the 9th gave the Sox more than enough insurance. That wild win means that Boston now has a commanding 3-1 lead in the series.
Not bad at all. And now the focus, of course, is on tonight's game. 7's Michael Yoshida live at Fenway with more as the Sox hope for even bigger things with David Price due back on the mound this evening.
Yeah, hey, Matt, Alex Cora surprising some last night when he announced that it was going to be David Price taking the mound tonight. But what a win last night for the Sox. A great come-from-behind victory in which they saw a solid start from Eduardo Rodriguez. But, you know, after he gave up 4 runs in the 6th, that's when the bats came alive for the Sox as they powered on to win.
3-2 pitch. Fly ball into shallow left center should end it. The Red Sox are up 3-1.
The Red Sox winning Game 4 and now 1 win away from another World Series title.
I think today we learned a lot today. And like, you got to keep playing.
A team known for not quitting. After a tough first 6 innings, the Sox turned it around in the 7th. Down 4-0 and with 2 runners on, pinch hitter Mitch Moreland starting the comeback.
Pinch hit 3-run home run Moreland. And the Red Sox are within a run.
Oh, what a home run. You know, it's a guy come off the bench. His number was called. He was ready to go and jumped on his pitch in his area, and you know, super proud of him.
An inning later, it was Steve Pearce's turn to join the party.
In these 2 games, here's a fly ball into left center. Back is Bellinger at the wall. The game is tied.
Pierce blasting a one-run homer to left off the Dodgers closer. And then in the 9th,
That's up the middle.
the Sox taking the lead, and a few batters later, Pierce did it again, sealing the win for the Sox.
Ball is down into the wall. It will empty the bases. Steve Pearce, what a night.
We had, 2 really big hits. Obviously, the homer to tie it, and then the insurance in the last inning there. But I mean, he's been great for us, and we're lucky to have him.
So David Price on the mound tonight for the Red Sox as they look to close it out in L.A. Reporting live outside of Fenway this morning, Michael Yoshida, 7 News Today in New England.
All right, Michael, and Chris Sale, well, he didn't pitch in Game 4, but seems he still had an impact on the contest. Sale was fired up last night, helped fire up his teammates as well as they worked to come back from the late inning deficit. And Sale's effort coming 5 years to the day after another famous Sox speech. David Ortiz rallied his teammates in the dugout during Game 4 of the 2013 World Series. Sox trailed at that point, but came back to win the title. Today, players have plenty to be fired up after the dramatic Game 4 win. Sports Director Joey Marcino has more from Dodger Stadium.
Good morning. The Red Sox can win the World Series tonight here in L.A. They'll hand the ball to David Price on short rest, just like they did in the clincher in the ALCS when he dominated down in Houston. Chris Sale will pitch a Game 6 if necessary now, but Sale did provide a spark for this team last night from the dugout. Someone had to fire up the Red Sox after they fell behind 4-0 in the 6th inning, and that someone was Chris Sale.
Mookie came down. He was going down to watch some video, and I said, "Who's yelling up there?" He's like, "Sale." I'm like, "Oh my God, he's mad." He was mad at us. So, I think that kind of lit a fire under everybody. We didn't want to see him mad anymore. So we decided to start swinging the bats a little bit.
He rallied the troops as Chris Sale can. I mean, Chris Sale is a leader, and it's obviously we saw it tonight. A lot of the guys depend on him. A lot of the guys look to him for that leadership, and even when he's not on the field, he's a leader of this team.
And Sale got the response he was looking for immediately in the top of the 7th.
High fly ball to right. Back at the wall. It is gone. Pinch hit 3-run home run Moreland.
Mitch Moreland's 3-run home run brought the Sox bats to life, scoring 9 runs over the final 3 innings.
That's something we've taken pride in all year. We've won 108 games, and obviously we've got some guys that MVPs and that type guys on our team, but it's taken all 25 of us to get to where we are today.
Sometimes it's will, and you will yourself to do great things, and it started very simple, a few good at bats and then the big swing, and then we kept rolling and we didn't stop playing.
So the Red Sox with a chance to end this tonight in L.A. and win their 4th World Series title in the last 15 years. Reporting in L.A., Joe Amorosino, 7 News, Today in New England.
It was a memorable night for first baseman Steve Pearce. What was a great moment could have taken a bad turn at the end, though. Did you see right there? Dodgers shortstop Manny Machado appeared to step on Pearce's heel while trying to beat out the throw in the 9th. Machado says that it was an accident and that the two are good friends. While Pearce appears to have escaped unharmed, he did plenty of damage at the plate. 7's Kim Lucy has more in the first baseman's big night. Kim.
That's right. He had that tying homer in the 8th, a 3-run double in the 9th. It's stuff that legends are made of. Steve Pearce certainly doing his part to live up to that role.
2 games. Here's a fly ball into left center.
Tying up the game with a swing of the bat, already making for a stellar night for Steve Pearce. But the Red Sox first baseman wasn't done yet.
Into the gap in right center field.
Clearing the bases 1 inning later with this double to the gap. He joins Yaz and David Ortiz as the only Boston players to homer while driving in 4 runs in a World Series game. He says it was incredible to be part of a team that fought back after being down 4-0 in the 7th.
But, you know, everybody was pulling for each other, trying to get each other riled up. And, you know, this team has a lot of fight. And, man, it was great to see how we responded.
Pierce wasn't the only player pumped for his big night.
Huge. That was awesome, you know. For him to come up with that hit and, you know, the second hit, too, it's awesome.
The 12-year veteran was acquired by the Red Sox in June and has proven to be poised throughout the playoffs.
He's a complete player. He's a complete hitter. Very mature. You know, the moment is not too big for him, and I'm glad that he's playing for us.
Steve's been doing that, you know, since he came over to us. He's been a big part of our offense, you know, since we got him, and we're fortunate, you know, that we did.
Playing for the Red Sox has special meaning for the 35-year-old journeyman. His dad is from Massachusetts, and he and his family are loving this moment.
It's a dream come true. You know, they're happy. You know, it's just a cool feeling that, you know, I can do something very special like this right now.
Pierce says, of course, it's not over yet. They still have to get that one more win. He hopes it's tonight so they can bring home that World Series championship to Fenway Park. We're live outside Fenway. Kim Lucy, 7 News Today, New England.
And with the series now 3-1, history is on Boston's side. It's the 5th time that the Sox have held the lead in the World Series. Boston has won the championship each of the previous 4 times. On the flip side, this is also the 5th time that the Dodgers have faced a 3-1 deficit in the World Series. Each time, the Dodgers lost the series in Game 5.
And it has no doubt been a team effort throughout the year, and that was never more evident, perhaps, than in Game 4. Coming up at 10:30, we'll have more on the players that stepped up when it mattered most, and President Trump, also more on him, questioning one manager's mindset. Hear what Alex Cora has to say about the president's criticism of LA's game win planning in our next half hour. Stay with 7 News for pre-game and post-game coverage. Joe Amorosino and Trey Dare are in LA. Watch for their live reports throughout the day right here on 7 News.
We're following a developing story in Pittsburgh. People mourning the loss of the 11 people who were killed in yesterday's shooting at a synagogue. Large crowds gathered for a vigil there. And here's the suspect, 46-year-old Robert Bowers. Police say that he is facing a number of charges, including murder and hate crime. And police are revealing more of about what Bowers allegedly said at the scene. Reporter Camilla Bernal has more.
Acts like this are really acts against all houses of worship.
Saturday morning's attack inside a Pittsburgh synagogue is believed to be the deadliest on the Jewish community in U.S. history. Authorities received calls of an active shooter at the Tree of Life synagogue just before 10 a.m. Police say it was this man, 46-year-old Robert Bowers, who opened fire and unleashed terror on a close-knit community, leaving nearly a dozen people dead. Some police officers were among the injured.
I think that Squirrel Hill is strong, and we're going to remain that way.
According to police, Bowers made anti-Semitic comments during the shooting and targeted Jews in posts on social media. Bowers is now facing a list of federal and state charges. Candlelight vigils were held across the country to honor the lives lost, including D.C., where hundreds gathered outside the White House. President Trump, who's expected to visit Pittsburgh, condemned the deadly shooting during a rally in Indianapolis.
There must be no tolerance for anti-Semitism in America.
Well, Boston police have increased patrols around synagogues across the city. They wrote in a statement, while there are not any credible threats targeting similar religious institutions in Boston, BPD reminds community members to remain vigilant, while the Boston Regional Intelligence Center continues to closely monitor the situation while sharing information with law enforcement agencies on both the federal, state, and local levels. We will keep you up to date on the synagogue shooting on air on our 7 News app and online at WHDH.com. And now to a story you saw first on 7. A Back Bay apartment building goes up in flames. This was the scene yesterday as firefighters worked to save dozens of people living in the building. At least 9 people were hurt, including one firefighter. Students who were rescued from the building, they talked about those frightening moments.
And they told us to punch out the screens of the window so that they could get the ladder to the window and help us out.
First of all, looking at the ladder, you're thinking, oh my goodness, is that stable? But there's no other way out. You just got to go down that ladder.
It was a little scary at first, but honestly, once I got on it, I was just kind of like going down as fast as possible.
Firefighters continue to investigate the cause. They say it does not appear to be suspicious.
Coming up, voicing their concerns, Columbia Gas holding town hall meetings weeks following the Merrimack Valley gas disaster. What homeowners are now saying.
We are the news station.
Always have been, always will be.
Now, 7 weather with meteorologist Jackie Layer.
And after that nor'easter pushed its way through yesterday, now we're just dealing with some clouds and some mist and also weaker winds. We're not tracking anything in the way of any wind gusts that we did see yesterday, but currently it's a little bit on the colder side. 45 degrees right now in Boston under cloudy conditions and some mist. Wind chill, though, making it feel like it's into the low 40s. Those winds have now shifted to out of the south and west, right around 7 miles per hour. Current temperatures across the area into the low 40s as we head farther north and west away from the city. But as we head farther south and east away from the city, that's where temperatures are confined into the low 50s for Plymouth, down towards New Bedford, upper 50s already down towards Hyannis and Barnstable, even 57 degrees down towards Martha's Vineyard. It's all due to the fact we're seeing those winds now out of the south and west. It is quite breezy out towards the Outer Cape and the islands. Otherwise, the farther north and west you go, relatively calmer compared to the day yesterday. Now that nor'easter, or at least that system, continues to pull its way northward, so we're just on the backside of this system currently. We're still under cloudy conditions, but we'll eventually see some breaks of clouds, or at least I should say some peaks of sun as we look ahead towards later on this afternoon. Mainly down towards the southern coastline and the Cape and the islands. Could see some brief breaks here and there, but it's likely that the clouds will stick around through most of the day today. Looking ahead towards tomorrow morning, we're tracking our next system right along and south of the Mass Pike. We'll be tracking some rain showers starting off 4 a.m. tomorrow morning. By 7 a.m., we'll likely continue to see some scattered showers across the area, and eventually that lifts its way out, and we'll see maybe a few spotty showers as we get ahead towards noon tomorrow, and eventually drying things out as we look ahead towards tomorrow evening. Here's that next system sliding its way through, bringing us a chance for some scattered showers. That cools us off as we look ahead towards Tuesday, since we're then on the backside of that system, but it will be dry under mostly sunny skies. High pressure gives us at least quieter weather for Tuesday and Wednesday, but by Thursday, we're going to be tracking that next system out towards our west yet again, and that'll bring us a threat for some showers as we go ahead towards Thursday afternoon. Before the day today, we're tracking some drizzle and some fog, but that eventually will lift its way out. We'll see some peaks of sun, but mainly confined to the south. We'll see those temperatures into the upper 40s to low to mid 50s across the region. Tonight, we'll see those temperatures only drop into the upper 30s to low to mid 40s due to the fact we're still going to have some cloud cover through the overnight hours, but at least not quite as breezy as what we dealt with last night. Rain does return as we look ahead towards tomorrow. Can't want that chance for a rumble of thunder, but temperatures will be rising back into the low to mid 50s as we look ahead towards our Monday with some scattered rain showers. Upper 40s on Tuesday, and then we really warm things up on Wednesday just in time for Halloween, near 60 degrees, upper 60s though by Thursday.
Now turning to the Merrimack Valley gas disaster, hundreds of people getting their chance to air their concerns over the new service restoration timeline.
Now, the gas company held town hall meetings after announcing it is pushing back the date to mid-December. That's from mid-November. The company hopes 70% of homes will have heat and hot water next month. People in the area are understandably upset.
And right now, we have no heat, no hot water, no nothing, and we're struggling.
I've called the customer service line 4 times, and not a soul could answer my question. Not one of them could answer my question of why I'm left without and others are being hooked up.
Some homes have been without gas for nearly 50 days, and so you can understand their frustration.
Yeah, sure. Okay, still ahead here on 7 News. Jackpot. A couple of power plays in the Powerball drawing. We're going to tell you where the lucky tickets were sold.